How much grinding are you going to need to complete this Midnight Hunt event? Where the heck is Mr. Negative's free-to-play release method? And we have some explanation of some confusing attack modifiers in Marvel Strike Force. Plus, it is Monday, so we're going to Discord for all of your questions from the mailbag. And if you're ready for that, Valley Club, this is going to be a good one. Find that like button, and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello. What is up, Valley Club? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. Hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. There are at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos released every single week on this channel. And if you want the greatest tips, tricks, and everything going on in Marvel Strike Force, make sure you have that subscribe button and that notification bell hit. And if you have already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. It is Mailbag Monday, so we're going to get to all of your questions from the mailbag, but there's an event going on right now, this Midnight Hunt event. Let's go in game and see where we need to get for this event. Now, there's a couple milestones that you need to get to. If you're just looking to complete all the Future Shock milestones, you need to get to milestone 20 here for this big unstable molecule suit. This is going to award 100,000 points for that Future Shock milestone. So if you're on track to complete this Future Shock milestones for Spider-Man 2099, you need to get to at least here. This is where you get all your Spider Splice genes and this suit here. The other big thing that you might want to be pushing for is milestone 22. And this is where you get that costume, those silver phase bits for those costumes. And yeah, should be a fun one there. Now, the rest of this stuff, if you don't get it, I know a lot of people want to complete these events because that is kind of the nature that we want. We want to finish everything, we want to complete everything. But some of these, it's not super valuable. It's not a big deal if you don't get all this stuff. So I think the minimum that you want to at least push for to get to is this right here, milestone 22. But we have an explanation of what you need to do because there's also leaderboards. There's also some ranking rewards, which are pretty good. We got some T2 level 5 ions, a lot of that stuff here in these major ranks here. If you don't get to these major ranks, well, you could get to that 1 to 10% and get these T2 level 4 ions. So decent stuff in here. There's some decent stuff in these milestone rewards as well. As far as scoring, well, you need to blitz. You need to grind a lot of blitz. Blitzing with Dark Hunters, blitzing with symbiotes as well, and spending power cores. And I was about to do all the calculations, but I went over to the Valley Club Discord channel, the Smash in Time Discord. The link is down below, and that is where you need to go if you do want to leave a question for this mailbag. As I was about to do these calculations, I saw that brother Peter Giddings already did this stuff. Now, I did not go back and verify all these numbers, but it looks pretty right. So what he says is, okay, Midnight Hunt is going to suck 5.5 rotations of 32 wins, including Dark Hunters and Symbiotes, get you the Spider Splice stuff. 8 rotations gets you into the leaderboard. The math is with no core spent. So 5.5 rotations, no core spent. That'll get you all the Spider Splice stuff. If you want the leaderboards and if you want some of those ions and stuff, you're gonna need to do a little more. All right, 5.5 rotations. You need to spend 2,000 cores per day for 6 days to max the milestones. That seems very, very expensive. I don't think it's worth spending those cores to max those milestones. 8 rotations, that drops to a measly 1,658 cores per day to max the milestones. Yeah, that is not good either. And if you do no blitz, you need to spend 700 cores for 6 days. And that is just to get the Spider Splice stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. You could do more blitzing. You could do more core spending. But at the end of the day, again, where do you want to get to as far as the minimum just for that Spider Splice stuff is all the way to milestone 20 here. And again, if you look at these leaderboards, there's something that you need to qualify for. It doesn't say, but at least according to Peter Giddings, and I might have missed something there, you need to get into these ranking rewards just to qualify. Leaderboards determine that stuff. And again, this is the scoring there for that. Now, let's go into your questions from the mailbag because there's some good ones this week, Valley Club. First question of the week comes from Hornicus. Valley, stay classy. Love the content. I'm thinking about what happens after Apocalypse has been released. Will everybody's hard work be mitigated by the first team out, or will we get months and months of mirror matches with a full Horseman teams? I do like the overarching event, but I think there's poor execution with lack of agency. Yes, I agree with that. I like that it is one big goal that is leading up, but a lot of these events, kind of like some of the ones that come to my mind, the Hulkbuster event was pretty bad. Some of these events within these month-long milestones and within this chase for Apocalypse are pretty bad, but there's some good things about a long chase. Now, as far as what I'm predicting, as far as the viability of this full Apocalypse Horseman team, it's probably going to be somewhere along the lines of Eternals or maybe Infinity Watch, lasting for at least 3 to 6 months in the meta. Seems like a short time for all this grinding that we're going to have to do, but fortunately it looks like this team is here to stay, and all of these Horseman teams individually are going to be very dominant in whatever game mode they're in. So all over the place, you got Darkhold, Cosmic Crucible is where you're going to use this, Unlimited X-Men, War is going to be where you're going to use that War Scourge team for Red Hulk and the rest of the Gamma team, and it looks like the Death team, the Death Seed rumored team, is going to be for the raids, of the mutant raid section. So it's not a total waste, even if the Apocalypse meta is out of there and very short. All right, I think they could have introduced another big event. Let's call it they could introduce another big event. Let's call it Secret Wars. Each commander will get the biggest side over the next 9 to 12 months. Each patch could release 1 to 2 characters per side. If you picked one side, you only get those characters. Once a full rotation is done, then the other side opens up. That way they create some differences between team players, but eventually everyone will get everything, hopefully giving them time to work on the bugs and on that fragile framework. Thoughts? I do like this. You know, there was something similar to that in one of the original games I played for this channel, Marvel's Avengers Alliance Part 2. They had a certain path for Deathlock and then for Winter Soldier, and you could pick one for free, and then if you want to do the other one to get the other character, you had to spend some money. So that was something similar to this. There's a lot more intricacies with how it would be in Marvel Strike Force, but I do kind of like that. I do like events that don't have people build the same exact roster, which is what Apocalypse has effectively done. With Dark Dimension, we had some agency, we had some choices. We could bring in bad characters if we want, if they were cheap, or we could build up our best characters and wait. I did like that. We've kind of lost that with Apocalypse. So they could go a lot of different ways with this. There's been a lot of speculation that they could go for a Galactus event, a Mephisto event. I don't know if they're going to do anything. I guess a lot of it is going to be determined by the sales and the numbers that they see. If this was successful in the eyes of Scopely and Boundless, then they'll do this again for another character. If it was not, and there's some players lost and the profits are down, they're probably not going to do something again. So I think a lot of their decisions are based after the fact. So I think it's going to be determined how much money they make from this Apocalypse release. But I do like your idea. It reminds me of that Marvel's Avengers Alliance Part 2 idea, but a lot more intricate and based on Marvel Strike Force. So this would work in the game if Scopely did it right. And I gotta be honest, I have very little faith that they would do something like this right. But let's move on to the question. I do like it though. And I think Boylan was in the movie Hot Tub Time Machine. Oh my goodness. I know who you're talking about, and there are some similarities in the looks, at least, with that character or that actor and Boylan. All right, hey Valley, more of a request than a question. Could you please explain for everyone the difference with these? This attack cannot be dodged. This attack cannot miss. This attack is unavoidable. I see many people on MSF Reddit that are clueless, and I feel a mainstream CC could help shed some light on the matter. A PSA could go a long way, and I actually did one of these PSAs a long time ago, but it was based on someone's information from Reddit. So let's go look at this post from a long time ago. I believe that this is still correct. I don't think things have changed, but let's look at this right here. This is from 4 years ago. This was posted on April 30th, 2018 by Kernco. I'm not sure if this player is still playing, but let me read this whole post and hopefully shed some light on it. And there's a comment that I do want to read in this. All right, skills in MSF sometimes say undodgeable, unavoidable, this attack cannot miss. These all sound similar, and it is not immediately clear what the difference is. Before we get there though, we have to review how attack is determined to hit or not. First, the game makes a roll against the attacker's accuracy stat to see if they miss. For most characters, their accuracy is 100. There have been a lot of characters introduced since then that have higher accuracy. I think on release, Daredevil had a higher accuracy than 100. I believe Bullseye had higher accuracy than 100. And I believe Heimdall's passive gives them just 100 accuracy. So if someone is blinding a character and reducing their accuracy by 100, someone like Heimdall can bump up that stats and pretty much make them hit. All right, so if they they'll always hit, and if they're blinded means minus 100 accuracy, then they'll always miss. 2 heroes, unless I'm missing others, and this was back in 2018. Hawkeye has 170% accuracy, and so if he's blinded, he still hits 70% of the time. Daredevil 205, and Bullseye upon release did have a little higher than normal accuracy as well. And I think Hawkeye does not miss at all, even if his accuracy, even if he's blinded, I believe he does not miss because of what was added to his moves since this post was made. Once the attack is determined not to miss, if the target has evade buff, then the evade and the buff is consumed. Otherwise, a roll is made on the target's dodge chance to see if they dodge. I believe the dodge chance comes after using the evade button, because I've never seen a character with evade dodge instead and keep the buff, but I might be wrong. So I'm gonna base my thoughts of this. I think this is all correct here. I don't think this has been negated since this. Now, can we take a look at these 3 skills, the tag that were mentioned in your question, brother? All right, so undodgeable. So you can miss. Blind is relevant. They can evade, and evade is relevant, but they cannot dodge. So characters like Spidey, like some of the other web warriors that have a high dodge chance, undodgeable means they cannot dodge, and that is what they can, but you still can miss. Blind and evade are all relevant. So those debuffs and buffs are going to be relevant for undodgeable. Unavoidable, you can miss. So blind is relevant. You cannot evade. So if they have that evade symbol, that evade buff on top of their character, well, yeah, it is negated, and they cannot dodge. So Spider-Man or the Web Warriors or other characters that have high dodge chance, they still cannot dodge. So both of these cannot dodge. The next one, the third, this attack cannot miss. So cannot miss means blind is negated, but they can evade and they can dodge. So F you Spidey and Web Warriors and Vision and other characters that have high dodge chance and evade. So those evade buffs that the Web Warriors use, then yes, that's also into play. Now, this person said they're not 100% on this, but I did make a video about this back in 2018, and I do believe it's correct. There was one comment, though, that was from 4 years ago as well, and it's been a month, so I thought I'd update this. So, undodgeable cannot be dodged, and that is the only guarantee. You can still miss and you can still evade, so that is exactly what was said above. Dodge is a passive ability on the player's defense as determined by their dodge rate. Dodge is also something in their base stats, guys. There's also block chance right now, and what that does is that it decreases the amount of damage that you're going to do with that block chance. And I guess what was made known in war since this, that if you have a real block, or if you have a real block chance and not a minor one, then that's going to negate any debuffs that go on that character as well. Unavoidable, it cannot be evaded, and that is it. You can still miss, you can still dodge, but you cannot avoid it with that evade buff. And that's getting from a support character. There's a lot of characters that have that now, mainly the Web Warriors, and I think this is still correct and not negating anything that the original post said. Accuracy cannot miss. So accuracy and another passive action like dodge only refers to the first ability. So the TLDR of all this, so undodgeable means that no dodge, but you can still miss and you can still be evaded. Unavoidable means there's no evade, but they can still dodge and you can still miss. And cannot miss means you cannot miss. So that is it. I know it's very confusing. I wish there was a way that Scopely could clear this all up, but yes, that is how it works as far as I know, brother. All right. Do you think the Bionic Avengers or the Wakandans are the team to upgrade for death because of a 450k Wakandans, a 700k Bionic Avengers? I don't really want to, but put more into Wakandans for a team that I only use in Blitz. I also see Bionic Avengers having a longer life with them being a tech raid team. and having use in Scourges and in War. So I do think that I'm going to be upgrading the Bionic Avengers. Hopefully I'm guessing right on that. I already have some investment in Shuri and probably going to invest in these new characters as well. The 1 million BC Black Panther and Nakia, because they look to be very, very good. Although because they are a raid offense or a war offense team, they look like a luxury team. So if you don't have the resources, you may not want to invest in the Wakandans, but I think the Bionic Avengers are very, very important because they are a raid team. If you have that lane using the tech team or on a tech lane in the Doom raids, you can only use tech characters, and the Bionic Avengers are the solution for that. So I think I'm going to go with the Bionic Avengers. They do seem a little slow, but the Asgardians also seemed a little slow. Once they get going, I think they're going to be fine. But Shuri may come into play with all this because she does have that healing that she does. A very strong healing defense up. So I think I'm going to go with the Bionic Avengers and maybe piece together some Wakandans. And I hope I'm guessing right on all this. All right, Pestilence had Web Warriors, more important than Dark Hunters. Famine had Young Avengers, more important than the A-Force. War was mostly rework Thor and Hulk as the main heroes. I could see them force you to build Wakanda for death since everyone is building Bionic Avengers for Doom raids, and my Wakandans are only CC and not so built up. And depending on reworks with Black Panther. Yeah, so we do know that with these new Wakandans coming, these war dogs coming, we're going to get a rework to Shuri, we're going to get a rework to the original Black Panther, and we're going to get a rework to Okoye to round out that full war dog team. So with those reworks, they may be viable also for Scourge. But for myself, I'm going to continue to build up Bionic Avengers because I know I'm going to use them every day in the raids. And then if other characters, other Wakandans are needed for death, then maybe build them up a little. All right. Hey, Valley, I'm confused about something I wanted to ask about it. Where is Mr. Negative's event? I know his offers are out and have been out for the past week, but where's the free-to-play method of unlocking him? It doesn't make sense for them to go into the next patch. One character shirt. Sorry if this seemed like a rant, but I am mega confused. So they've actually done this in the past. They've announced 4 characters during the patch. They haven't had the event during the patch, but they've had the characters offer go out of the patch. So technically the character is in the game and they were made available in the game. That looks to be the case with Mr. Negative as well. Usually it's one of the first events that go on, but as we know, the first event for 6.5 is going to be a zombie Iron Man event. So hopefully the event right after that is Mr. Negative. And for some insight on the Mr. Negative event, we go to one of the comments that Archangel left on Reddit last week about Mr. Negative. Now, he did since delete this comment, which may mean that the information that he gave here has been changed, or maybe the information here was too accurate and they didn't want to spoil everything. So take this with a grain of salt. This was deleted. It's not clear why he deleted this message, but last week on the 18th of October, he said, "We will be giving the information out in a few weeks on how to unlock Mr. Negative. All I can say at the moment is that the data miner guesses are wrong if they say Mr. Negative is a pay-only character. His release will involve the web store." So it does look like an event for Mr. Negative is coming to the game. Maybe we'll find out about it next week because it does say in a few weeks. So like I said, normally it's if they have a character that's released in a paid method in the previous patch, normally the next patch they have that event going on for that character first. Like I said, we do have Mr. Zombie version of Iron Man coming first. So maybe the event after that will relate to the next month-long milestone character, and the first one will be Mr. Negative. But at least according to this post here, it does involve the web store. So take that with a grain of salt, though. It was deleted. He did not say why he deleted it, but yeah, it was deleted there. So it looks like he'll have an event, and not just no events, not just pay for his release. All right, and the good thing about that is it was not announced that Mr. Negative is an exclusive character that you need to build up for Apocalypse. So it looks like he may just be a war character. So if we miss out on this character, it may not be a huge negative deal. All right, I have a couple questions. What would it take for you to quit a mobile game? And my other questions, have any tunes to Gear 17 yet because I think the cost is too high. So I have one character at Gear 17, that is Morgan Le Fay. Waiting on a few parts for Rogue, some of those mutant parts, and I'm waiting for some uniques for Red Hulk. But the Horsemen are the characters that are going to take up to 17 because I know I'm going to eventually need them for Apocalypse. And those are the strongest characters on their team. So I'm building them right now just to make those teams stronger. As far as what it would quit for me to take a mobile game, to quit a mobile game, just boredom. I've quit many mobile games. I mean, the state of Marvel Strike Forces went up and down over the years, and in those down plays, I'm constantly looking for new games to play. Just nothing really catches my interest for over 2 months. I think Marvel Future Revolution lasted for a while, but eventually got too grindy and too boring. I'm actually playing Marvel Snap right now, though, and actually enjoying that. So let me know if you guys want to see some content on Marvel Snap. Pretty low level, but I'm having fun with it right now, and maybe that would be a good thing to talk about. But yeah, and boredom makes me quit a mobile game. Just not interested. And as much as struggling sometimes to play Marvel Strike Force and upset as I have been in the past at the devs in Marvel Strike Force, it's the game that I keep coming back to because even at its worst status, it's still the game that I have the most fun with. So, and a lot of the complaining I do is because I want to see this game improve. But yeah, boredom would make me quit a mobile game, just not having fun with it because my time is very limited. All right, hey Valley, stuck in GD5 first city node. I'm bringing in Cloak, Dagger, Ghost Spider, Squirrel Girl, and Shang-Chi. So you got some good characters there, brother. I'm on the last wave, but can't seem to get into the decks off because two Mr. Sinister Strife keep giving each other energy and healing. Do you have any suggestions? You may want to just sacrifice a few days to get your cooldowns up. And once you could eliminate either one Mr. Sinister or the Strife, it should be a lot better, a lot easier. I know I struggled my first playthrough, my second playthrough, and I think I did City a third time. I just haven't done all the rest of the nodes to get that border on my character name for the, or my avatar for that third run. But yeah, I've been through it a few times. That is a challenging place. So again, you may want to sacrifice a few days to get your cooldown set up so that on a certain day you go in there and you eliminate a Strife or you eliminate one of the Sinisters, and you should be good at that point. So once Strife is down, one Sinister's down, you should be good. But yeah, you might want to just get your cooldowns all set up so you could just smash on one day. Hey Valley, I need help clearing Doom campaign nodes. I'm stuck on 2.7, 8, and 9. The ones that require power armor, Black Order, and Hydra. Who do you recommend keeping in mind the Matt Crunch for Apocalypse and Toon related in mind? And Magic actually has a answer here. Let me see if my answer is different than what he says, but only responding because Valley already put out a video and it seems like only a couple of questions. The power armor character, the only power armor character is Iron Man. So remember, power armor, that is a Scourge or Iron Man is a Scourge character, not necessarily a Horseman character, not necessarily in there for the direct chase for Apocalypse. You will need them to unlock some of these characters like Death, or Archangel, which was confirmed, and you will need him for some of the Wave 1 Avengers nodes for Red Hulk. But outside of that, once you have those characters unlocked, you know, Iron Man is just kind of a raid character at that point. So be careful what you invest. I would say invest as much as you need to pass those nodes, then stop. No Black Order or no Hydras used for Apocalypse. So Iron Man, Zemo is a very good character. Red Skull is okay, and he may be very, very good for that node, but that is not a character that I use except in Blitz right now. So there's certain good characters. Ebony Moss still has a little bit of value, but he is a mystic character, and the Black Order is just not as good as it was in the past. Falcon I do like, but this may be kind of like some of the early nodes or early teams that you go through. You're just building up to get through this, and you're not getting a lot of overlap with some Horseman characters and Apocalypse related characters, things like that. So yeah, this is the exact correct answer there. That's the route I've been looking for. Then Winter Soldier for the fit since I need him for Omega, but these nodes are definitely killer with the current meta. Yeah, it was killer back in the day too, but fortunately these nodes were out around the time Black Order was still around the meta, so it wasn't that challenging to build up your characters for the Black Order, although Thanos does not have a Black Order tag, so keep that in mind. You're building up the rest of the Black Order there. All right, yeah, Black Order without Thanos is rough. I think node 9 gives you a Thanos at least. Yeah, so you're not getting a full Black Order, so that means that Thanos is not going to be going into his empowered state to get his Infinity Gauntlet and do his cool moves. He's still going to be a good energy battery if you bring him in with the rest of the Black Order, or actually you can't bring in the rest of the Black Order because he doesn't have that tag. So yeah, it does get a little rough, but hopefully it gets through it. And you may want to just build these characters just for this node to get through. I think one of the big things that you need to do as a new and a mid-game player is get through all of these campaign nodes so that you can farm the character shards and farm the gear that you need. That's one of the big challenges. After that point, after you got into the campaigns, then you can start to build some of these teams for the meta, like Arena, or the Raids, or Crucible, or War, or whatever game mode that you enjoy the most. That's where you should be focused on. But until then, those campaigns, getting through these campaigns, you're gonna have to build some characters that don't really have a lot of use down the road. All right, in the next interview you have with anyone connected to decision makers made in MSF, can you please ask them why they don't add more of the widely accepted fan favorite characters to the game every 6 months? I know that they want to play the long game of dragging us players throughout our lifetime to get more opportunities for us to spend money, but they could give us an inch while they take a mile. Well, Archangel I think is a good choice. Black Panther 1 million BC is a little weird. Nakia was someone that I wanted from the original Black Panther movie. Dark Beast I would say is a poor choice, but yeah, there could be a lot more fun characters coming down the road, or they could have added through this patch. I mean, Excalibur would have been pretty cool to add to for this death raid team. That would be aligned with the rumors, but it's very strange. The first really weird one I thought all the way back in the day was Swarm, and then we got these characters like Dr. Voodoo that I never really heard of before this, and the other characters that are in the game right now. So very weird. Spider Noir, Spider-Man 2099, not the most highly requested characters, at least for me, but yeah, I mean, it's you got the answer right here, brother. It's because they want to play the long game and get characters like Gambit and Surfer out when the game's in a bad state to excite the players again. So I think that's what they're doing. I think it's that FOMO, and then when you get these characters, you have to build them for certain states of the game, even if they're not popular. And then they just expect you to buy these characters like Gambit that are popular and actually have some use in the game. And I think that's their strategy. But I will definitely ask the devs next time we do an interview. We'd have to submit some questions. So if you do want to see me do an interview, let me know in the comments down below. But that is it for this week's Monday mailbag, guys. Hopefully your questions got answered. If you want to leave a question for a future Monday mailbag video, make sure you are a member of the Discord. The link is down below. Check me out on social media. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, guys, and I hope to see you there. Thank you guys for watching. Check out some of the sponsors down below. Amazon coins can save you up to 20% off of all of your in-game purchases. So if it is available in your region and you are making purchases in whatever game that's on the Amazon App Store, make sure you can save up to 20% with that. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Give me that Hulk fist bump before you go, and I'll see you guys next time. There it is, Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Have a great one, guys.